2018. I'm going through some of the best movies for every year that I have been alive, and in 2018, I was 28.
Will's doing it.
I know it's not every movie that came out in 2018. These are just some of my favorites, some that stuck out to me. Everything I think you think I missed, please leave it down below. All right, let's get this thing started. We have Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think one of the best animated movies that have come out in the last 10 years. It is so interesting to watch. The story obviously is great. We have Miles Morales coming to the big screen, which is great. Absolutely love that character. And the animation style they do in this is so refreshing and fun. How many times have we seen like the Disney, DreamWorks, Pixar kind of face of all these characters with big eyeballs, all this different stuff, but they just give this thing such texture. They give it such interesting and just amazing like comic book styles with the colors and all this stuff. They even step it up more in the next movie, but we'll get there later. This movie is great. The story is great. The redemption arc of him is fantastic. The music is awesome. The voice cast is fantastic. If you have not seen Into the Spider-Verse, do yourself a favor. Get a big screen and just watch it and just enjoy the amazing colors and things that are going into your eyeballs. So well done. And in the same year, we had Avengers Infinity War. This was one of those movies that like you had to see in theaters. I remember me and my wife went and just... I remember it ended. It was ending, and then he snaps, Thanos snaps, and all of them, half of them start turning to dust. And she turns to me, she's like, "That's the end of the movie? That's how it ends?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I guess so." You couldn't have set up a bigger like movie you have to see the sequel to than this. Obviously, Endgame came out and was enormous, but this was just a way to like really set it up. They pretty much like teed it up to themselves to give a giant home run with Endgame. And it's one of those things like, will Marvel ever get to this heights again? I don't know. Infinity War into Endgame was just like peak, and I don't know if they could peak past the peak. It's been hard, and they have not gotten there since. But who knows? You never know. Just we'll wait and see. But this was one of those movies that you saw in theaters, and you're like, I can't wait to see the next one. Next up, we have Mission Impossible Fallout. Now, this was a big step up for me with Mission Impossible. They do such a good job with, like, the stunts are obviously amazing. Tom Cruise does his thing. But this one had extra sauce that the other ones just were lacking for a little bit. This one had Henry Cavill coming in, reloading his arms in that bathroom fight scene. And he just brought, like, a really, really great energy to this movie. And there was the whole mustache gate with this in Justice League. They wanted, for this movie, he has a great mustache. And then they wanted to do reshoots of Justice League because they already finished that. And like, well, he's already shooting this movie. So like, oh, can he shave his mustache? They're like, no, which is why in Justice League you have a weird CGI upper lip. But anyway, Mission Impossible Fallout just goes really, really hard in a bunch of areas. It was definitely like a refreshing taste in the Mission Impossible franchise. Absolutely love this one. This one's really, really good. If you have not seen, go check it out. It is great. Next up, we have A Quiet Place. John Krasinski coming in, starring and also directing this. Of course, and also his wife, Emily Blunt, which works out really nice. They do a really good job of setting up this world as a, post-apocalyptic. There's an alien invasion, but all the aliens will, come and get you and I guess eat you or just kill you. I don't know. They really show what they do. They kind of just get you. They don't say if they eat you or not. But and they are very attracted to any sort of sound. They have like extra sensitive hearing on their sides of their heads. And it's very, scary. You can't do anything. You can't make a noise. You can't, breathe. She steps on a nail at one point, which is insane. How do you not scream out loud? It's a nail in your foot. But all around, just really well done. I don't think I've seen many of the sequels. I saw this first one. I haven't really visited the sequels or prequels. But this first one, really, really cool idea. And just, it steps it up where, like, any sort of noise in this movie while you're watching it, you're like, quiet, shh, don't tell, quiet, everybody. Really well done. Coming up next, we got Crazy Rich Asians. This was a book and then made into a movie. This was one of those like movies that I was like, it was big because of, it's insane that it was this long to have like a big movie with like a pretty much majority of almost 100% fully, Asian American cast, where it's just like, this came out in 2018. It's like it's not that long ago. It's crazy that this was the first like big movie with that many great actors and actresses in leading roles all in one movie. Like I think it's like it is interesting from going through all these years. You can see a shift in like the way Hollywood does things, and I hope it continues to go that way. But it's just a great time seeing this many talented people in one movie. Usually in the past it was just, all right, we can't have two Asian leads, we can't have two Asian characters. It's like, why not? It makes no sense to me. But this movie is really, really good. Great, like romantic, somewhat comedy, but it's more of like a romantic dramedy. There's some, Aquafina's in it doing some jokes, but then there's some heartfelt stuff going on. And Michelle Yeoh is just always amazing. She plays the guy's mom, and she's just killer in everything she is in. But this movie was really, really fun to watch, and I was excited by the success of it. That's what I really was pumped for. Switching up to more of a smaller movie, we have Eighth Grade. This is a Bo Burnham directed movie about a young girl in eighth grade, and it was kind of a slice of life kind of thing. It wasn't like anything fantastical happens. It's literally just, this is what a girl in eighth grade in like the, I guess, earlier to late 2000s or so. And I obviously wasn't a young girl in that time, but I was a guy in that time. So I did, see how it was and what it was like, but seeing it kind of through this girl's eyes, where she's online a lot. She has friends, but like they're not as, tight and close, but she makes videos online, which is, very interesting to see. And how it's like a thing you can be very open and things online when you're made a little more anonymous, or there's not direct face-to-face contact, but then she's a little more shy. This scene that she has to go to a pool party and wear like a bathing suit. I can only imagine being like an eighth grade, like pubescent girl, and having to put a bathing suit on and go out in public and have people like just be there in your company. It just, even though I wasn't a girl, I could still really feel for it. And the movie's really, really well done. The young actress playing this part was incredible. She was, I think she was around that age, so it really felt very realistic and very grounded and really a slice of life. Wonderful movie. And last on the list, we have Black Panther, another enormous hit for the MCU. Chadwick Boseman, terrific as Black Panther. It is so sad that he passed and wasn't able to do many, many more of these. He and any movies in general. Obviously, he was such a talented actor, and it was really, really tough to that he was keeping things kind of secret and under wraps. Obviously, we don't need to know his personal life. That's his business. But like, remember it being kind of a shock where it's like, what, Black Panther? No way. Oh my gosh. It was very surprising. It was very sad. But this movie's fantastic. Michael B. Jordan is great as the villain. He's a real jerk in this movie. But you also, he plays the villain really well, where he's doing bad things, but his reasonings aren't that wild. Like, his dad was killed by, by Chadwick's dad, or earlier, like in a prequel thing or a flashback, and he just, obviously he's doing bad things, but he's doing them, he thinks he's doing for the right reasons. Like, that's what makes a villain really great, is when they in their mind they're doing the right thing. So it's not just evil for evil's sake. They think they're doing the correct thing. But this movie's great. It kind of started like, Wakanda became like on the map, because like I didn't really read Black Panther comics, so I really didn't know this whole world that they had. So I'm glad this movie kind of came out and kind of brought it to the front of the lexicon. Really, really great. 2018, really solid year all the way through. If you like this, I have a playlist of every single year from 1990 all the way up to today. If you could subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. That'd be great. And if you could follow me on Letterboxd. I write reviews on there all the time. I love making these. I hope you enjoy watching them. What was your favorite movie of 2018? Have a good one.